Okay, so Disney's Bob Iger hints at big changes for the MCU. Sequels work well, but do you need a third or fourth? Disney CEO Bob Iger has indicated that some changes may be on the way for Marvel Cinematic Universe when it comes to going back to the well with certain characters.
Yeah.
Recent reports have indicated that Disney intends to scale back on Marvel Studios' Disney Plus content going forward. It sounds like similar plans may be in place for the MCU's big screen output. While speaking at a Morgan Stanley conference, Disney CEO Bob Iger said that the company will be taking a much closer look at how much it is spending on content and how many projects it produces over the next few years. What does that mean for the Marvel Cinematic Universe specifically? What we have to look at Marvel is not necessarily the volume of Marvel storytelling, but how many times we go back to the well on certain characters. Sequels typically work well for us, but do you need a third or fourth, for instance? Or is it time to turn to other characters? There's nothing in any way inherently off in terms of the Marvel brand. I think we just have to look at what characters and stories we are mining. And if you look at the trajectory of Marvel over the next 5 years, you'll see a lot of newness. Now we're going back to turn the Avengers franchise, but with the whole set of different Avengers as an example. Sorry, though Iger didn't mention the movie specifically, you have to believe that the underperformance of the recent threequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, had something to do with its development. I would say Ant-Man and the Wasp is different than obviously Captain America. Like, the first two Ant-Man movies didn't really make a lot of money either. They weren't the big hits that, Thor Ragnarok was, or Winter Soldier. Like, Winter Soldier hit $1 billion, did it not? And Ant-Man 2 made, I don't know, 600 million? Look up the numbers, Minion.
Oh, yes, sir. Type.
Do I agree that Thor: Love and Thunder probably shouldn't have been made? Yes. Do I think it could have been made by someone else and been good? Yes. Like, we could have gone back to, like, Thor and Love and Thunder was the fourth movie, and while it wasn't good, it's not necessarily because it was the fourth Thor movie. It wasn't good because Taika didn't write it well. But then the third movie was the best of the four, which was, after the first two movies weren't... Like, I personally really liked the first Thor. I like the Shakespearean aspect of it and Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
Malekith was wasted in Dark World,
Agreed.
much like Gore was wasted in Love and Thunder. But then they come back and knock it out of the park with Ragnarok. And, sometimes it takes a movie or two to get your stride. Or sometimes you go too long. And, I don't know. I don't think there should be an edict, no more than two. Especially for a giant character like Thor or Captain America right?
Right. The difference between Captain America: Winter Soldier and Ant-Man and the Wasp is not as much as you think.
What?
Which is crazy.
How much was it?
Winter Soldier actually only made 714 million worldwide.
It didn't make $1 billion?
No. And Ant-Man and the Wasp made 622 million worldwide.
So 100 what? What was the first one? 741?
718.
Oh, so it's about $100 million difference.
Yeah.
The second Ant-Man made that much?
Yeah.
What did the first Ant-Man make?
That's a good question. It made worldwide 519.
Yeah, so the first one didn't do as well.
Still made almost $200 million.
What did Ragnarok do compared to Dark World? Type, monkey, type.
Typing away. I'm already cooking. 644 for Dark World.
Yeah.
Versus Ragnarok, you said?
Yeah.
855.
Oh, see, now that's a difference.
Yeah, that's a difference.
Yeah, that's a significant difference.
Yeah.
It's like a new Lexus, 2 new Benz or something.
Yeah, for the producer's 6 kids.
Yeah. So I don't think there should be an edict or a rule. No more than 2 movies per character. I mean, from the trailer, it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be the best of the three. And it took that long to kind of get attached to those characters.
Yeah. Because you had 2 movies and all the cameos. Like, there's so many.
Yeah.
And I actually saw something. I was just double checking the news listing that we didn't have it listed as a item. I saw today that James Gunn originally shot one-offs for the characters in Guardians 1 to introduce them better rather than putting them all in a movie. And then it got retooled and they did a movie instead.
What do you mean shot one-offs? Like one-off movies?
No, one-off like special presentations. They weren't
like
calling
40 minutes each?
Yeah, or like a half an hour or something. Yeah.
That would have been sweet.
Yeah, it would have been.
But I guess
cool,
they didn't have Disney Plus at that time to like for that kind of avenue.
Correct. So they
right?
weren't sure of how they were gonna do it, right? So like, can you imagine those getting released like online or something? Like it was just a release for free.
Yeah,
people just watch them, and it's
they
like
should do it now if those are done.
That'd be fucking ingenious.
Yeah, make a little bit more money off Gunn as he's out the door.
Introduce the MCU, an MCU character just on the internet. It's amazing. I love it.
They should 100% be done with Ant-Man though. Like I'm not saying it like Ant-Man as in his own movie. I love, Paul Rudd's great.
Yeah.
I had no problem with Cassie. I don't know. Some people seem to have a problem with Cassie. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with her. Yeah.
It was like again, like the whole movie, right? It was like every time I was kind of like, okay, this is okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was fine. But like,
there was a couple of times during the movie where I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I didn't really do that a lot because again, and as we both talked about it, a lot of the moments that were supposed to be very serious, I guess, and hard hitting, you just felt like you were on like a soundstage.
Yeah.
Bummer.
So let's keep Ant-Man, and I guess Cassie's gonna be a young Avenger eventually.
Oh yeah.
But like let's keep Ant-Man like Avengers only movies now. Like he's or he shows up once in a while in another movie somewhere, but he doesn't get like you if you're gonna redo Thor, like you have to have you kind of have to have sequels with the main staples of the Avengers. Like you can't just do Avengers movies and not have them have their own movies, like Doctor Strange 3, Captain America 4. There's even talk of a Nomad series with Chris Evans coming back.
Yeah. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, with him and Black Widow running around, sweet.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, there are some. Obviously,
no.
I don't think, but I don't think you need like. I don't know what's a character that got a movie that might not need a sequel.
Black Widow.
No,
one that's
Black
supposed
Widow
to probably get one,
time.
but we
don't
need.
We should have had a Black Widow in the first phase or two.
Oh,
we didn't get it till the end of phase 3 because of Ike Perlmutter, that misogynist piece of shit. So that's why it felt off and weird. It's like, well, she's dead now. Why are we watching this prequel? And now I guess you can say the same thing if Chris Evans comes back for a Nomad show. He's probably dead or living on the moon, according to She-Hulk. Like, I guess we're going back just to fill in more character development.
On the moon, like Skrull territory, some kinds of
So there are certainly appropriate times for characters to have multiple sequels. You just have to give it time, let it breathe, and write it correctly, and not rush it like Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that's happening now is that they felt like they had to rush so much stuff, and by rush, like a 2-year turnaround time, right? They formulate it. They think they're going to announce it. They announce it, and then basically, it's like a 2-year turnaround at that point.
Yeah, it also kind of felt like we were stuck because COVID, right? Like they had multiple releases planned and they couldn't. So then it kind of like, yeah.